All right guys, Ron Lyons here. I am the Tactical Redneck, and sitting right here in front of me, I've got the LifeGear First Aid Kit. It's a part of their Pro Survivor series, and it happens to be something that's included in their larger 72-hour two-person survival pack. Now, we've started a video series on that, and this happens to be the first aid component of that pack. Now, for a little bit of clarity, I just want you to understand that I have purchased one of these and I have received one for free from LifeGear. Now, either way, I'm going to be very unbiased in everything that I tell you about this kit because I want a high sense of trust and integrity always within this community. So the fact that I did get one of these free will not change my opinion, good, bad, or indifferent on it. So just understand that. Now, I will tell you just from my preliminary look inside the kit when we were going through everything on that 72-hour pack, that there is not some of the more major trauma items in here. For example, there's not a big tourniquet in here. There's a small buckle tourniquet. There is not a chest seal in this. Now, they're not necessarily things that you couldn't add to this, but I'm just saying from the beginning, they're not here. So let's just take a very, very quick look at this. I'm actually gonna go ahead and cut these tags off of it. So I've never actually been inside this kit yet. So it still has the tags on it. So we'll put those down and let's take a look at this pack first. So first thing that you'll see is it's a red Cordura nylon, pretty heavy duty stuff here. Obviously feels very heavy duty. It's got a patch strip right across the top. They do give you a small, it's like a Red Cross style patch, obviously identifying what's inside of the pack. And then you've got some of this, it's not true MOLLE webbing, but it's almost the same thing. Some people call these D-loops. So you've got those there. And then on the back side as well, you've got these long straps that you can use to go through MOLLE webbing on the outside of another pack. If you wanted to mount this to the outside of a pack, that's what these two long straps are gonna do for you, and then those button down like that. Now also back here, you've got more D-loops on the back side of the bag. So small handle up top, you've got a double zipper system, so you can zip it and unzip it from either side, or you can position the zippers if you would like right up on top. It literally depends on how you're carrying this and where you want to stage those zippers. You can do that with a double zipper. Let's go ahead and open this thing up. Take a look at what's inside. All right, so that is a sandwich style kit right there. So that's kind of what it looks like opening it up straight out of the box. And we're just gonna kind of unload this thing and hope to goodness I can get everything back where it goes. I do believe that there's enough room in here to maybe put something additional if you needed to. So let's take a look at this. Let's just start down on this end. You've got, let's see, how are these things held in here? So you've got these straps. They are elastic on the inside, and everything is kind of right back behind that elastic. So let's just get some of these tools out of the way first. So first thing, you've got a pair of tweezers there. That's really, really good to have in a kit. And then you've got a nice little scissor, but that's obviously made for bandages, cutting off clothing in the event that you need to get to a wound or an injury or something like that. So you've got that. And then I'm just gonna kind of go through this little bit by little bit and see what we've got. So in this first little bag, this looks like an assortment of lots of different types of bandages. So you've got a whole lot of like finger bandages, you've got butterfly bandages, you've got suture style bandages, lots and lots of different ones. And then there's a whole pack right there of just kind of standard everyday size bandages. So you've got a really good thick pack of bandages right there. Let's see if I can get those back into the little Ziploc bag that they came in. Okay, and I do like the fact that everything in here is in a Ziploc bag so that you can seal these things up. I don't believe that this pack itself is waterproof. And so having everything on the inside in sealable bags is gonna make a huge difference. All right, let's see what else we've got here. Okay, it looks like in this little bag, we've got, definitely have some paracord in here. So there's some paracord. That's probably 25 feet or so, I'm guessing, of paracord. That's probably 550. And let's see what else we've got. It's like we've got a little small ferro rod and striker there. Okay, so not only is this first aid, but it looks like there's, you know, some more survival type items in here as well. Okay, you've got a small whistle right here, a little metal whistle with a keychain style loop on it, so that's good. And then let's see, you've got a pack of needle and assorted threads, even some buttons in this little kit. And the use of different size threads, and I say this pretty often whenever I talk about these things, is let's just imagine that you're in a situation where you do have to go gray man and you've got to blend in. And let's just say that I was wearing this and I'm trying to blend in, but I've got a big rip in my shirt from whatever situation. I need to sew this back up because walking around with a big rip in the shirt, big flap hanging down, is going to draw attention. If I have a little kit like this, there's some black thread in there that would match this shirt fairly closely. I can sew that up and start to blend in a little better. So that's not going to be for major repairs. That's not going to repair like a thick nylon bag or something, but it's certainly going to mend a shirt or do something like that. Also down in this bag is a razor blade, and that's good. Obviously you've got scissors, and you'll typically have some sort of a knife on you or something like that. I hope that you have at least an EDC knife, but having a razor blade is good in the event that, let's say you have a blister or callus or something you need precise cutting with, usually somewhere on your body, hands, feet, etc. Guess what? That razor blade is going to be the tool. All right, and then otherwise in here, there is a assortment of nice little safety pins. And obviously holding certain bandages on and doing things like that, those safety pins are critical. Okay, so let's just put all this stuff back in this pack. All right, let's see what else we've got. Let's still over here on this left-hand side. All right. Here's something very, very interesting. We have a rain poncho, okay? This is one that I've not seen before. This looks like a fairly large, let's see, what does this say? Rain poncho, one size fits most, 60-inch by 80-inch. So that means it's gonna wrap around most people, and it's fairly long. This isn't one of those ponchos that just kind of hangs down to your waist. And I assume that that's that nice blue color. So you get that rain poncho right there. Again, kind of getting a little bit into the survival stuff here, which is really cool. I did not know that that sort of thing was in this kit. I'm gonna open up this next little bag here and see what we have. All right, so it looks like in this bag, we've got a little package of cotton swabs. We have some disposable size large gloves. That's really, really good to have. You never know when you're gonna need those dealing with certain situations, unfortunately. And then we've got some sterile gauze swabs. Looks like 3 of those. So yeah, 3 of those, cotton swabs, and the gloves, all right there together. Let's set these things now. Let's see what this is. Okay, and then you've got a small package of adhesive tape in here. And this is more like bandage style tape. It's not a big one. This is only gonna be for, you know, getting some gauze secured to a small area. You're not gonna go, you know, on a big wound in a large area on a person, but you do have that. And then the last thing on the left side of this is, guess what? Water purification tablets. These are little packages of 10. So typically these water purification tablets are really, really good for purifying. Like one tablet will typically do a liter of water. So you've got 10 here, you've got 20, that's 20 liters of water purification right there in that little set. All right, in the other side of this kit, we're gonna start kind of up here at the top and work our way down. And you can get a better idea of the elastic straps in the side that we've emptied out now. So these are just elastic straps that you basically sandwich everything underneath that. Okay, over on this side, first thing, you've got a little flashlight. Does come with its batteries. I'm not assuming that this is some sort of a crazy awesome flashlight. It's a very small, very basic flashlight. I have no idea how bright this thing is, no idea if this thing even kicks out, 5 lumens or not. But in a situation where you don't have anything else, and maybe you're trying to utilize this to, put some sort of adhesive bandage or something like that on, having a little flashlight like this right under the arm, do whatever you've got to do. It sure beats trying to do it in complete darkness. Now, it's in here. I have no idea how well it works. Maybe at some point we'll give that a test and see how it does. All right, let's move. Oh, keep going this way. Okay, got a nice little pack right here of, these are, let's see, what are these things? Okay, these actually are medication. I thought these were little alcohol wipes or something like that, but they're actually not. I'm gonna open this up because it looks like there's maybe more than one type in here. Yep, there is. So basically you've got insect sting relief pads right here. You've got a nice little stack of those. So in the event, you get stung by something, you've got that to rip open and put on it. And that is nice to have. And then it looks like we may even have, 2 more different types of things in here. So this is, okay, these are actually iodine prep pads. So if you need to disinfect something, then you've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 iodine prep pads right there. That's really, really awesome to have. And then the last thing is a little set of antiseptic wipes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, you've got 6 of those. So right there, all about insect stings, iodine, and antiseptic wipes. Again, cleaning those cuts, cleaning the abrasions, dealing with bee stings and whatever other kind of thing you get stung by. All right there. I'm gonna try and get these back in this pack. I'm not real sure that I'll ever get all of this back in the kit like I'm supposed to. All right, let's see what we've got here. So, yes, a emergency blanket. So a Mylar emergency blanket. Again, going back to the survival stuff, this one's actually a pretty good size. This is 51 by 83. That's a pretty good size Mylar blanket, emergency blanket. And as I always say, these are not for getting warm and cozy and cuddly at night. That's for reflecting back 90-something% of your natural body heat and basically just to keep you alive. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Now here's a big, okay, we've got a big abdominal pad, okay? So this would be something in the event that you've got, not necessarily just on your stomach, we call it an abdominal pad, but essentially if you're losing a reasonable amount of blood from some broad area in your body, this is what would be able to be pushed on for compression and absorption and possibly even taped on in the event that you needed to. So that's what that is. All right, let's see what else we've got here. Okay, instant ice pack. Super awesome thing to have in a kit like this. So one of those deals, you shake it up, you squeeze the bag, and it's got a couple of capsules in there that then come out of those little capsules and they mix with the other dry ingredients in here, and this thing gets really, really cold. Boom. Onto whatever the injured area is, and hopefully on your way to not bruising or having as much swelling, etc. So anti-inflammation, that sort of thing. If you've got an injury, you've got something, even in a really, really bad sting, if you're having a reaction, you have a lot of histamine in your system, or you're very histamine reactive, and you get stung by something, it's one thing to use some of those insect, gauze wipes, etc. But putting something cold on it sometimes can slow down that histamine response a little bit. So that's also really good. Okay, and then let's say we've got a package right here. This is just a raw triangular bandage pack. So you've got something that you can utilize these on strange areas. You've got your abdominal pad. That's obvious for, big areas like this, but what happens when you need to bandage like around the back of your knee or an elbow or some odd place like that? Well, that's where triangle bandages come in handy, because they're shaped in such a way that you can utilize them. Just imagine maybe more like a bandana or something like that. So that's what these are for. You can, around your head, around the thigh. It's possible, I'm not sure if this is big enough. Let's see, this appears to be how big? Okay, this actually would probably work. This is 38 by 38 by 54. So you've got two sides that are 38 inches, one side that's 54 inches. You could make an arm sling out of this if you needed to, okay? All right, let's keep moving. This may be another one, yep. So you actually have two of those triangle bandages. So if you break both arms, you need to sling both arms, or break your arm and crack your head open, there you go, you're set. All right, we have a roll of elastic gauze bandage. So think about stretchy gauze. So this is going to be able to be wrapped around something and actually provide circumference compression. Say that 10 times fast. Anyhow, you're gonna, like a finger, a wrist, something like that, you're gonna be able to actually get some decent compression out of that. Not like blood loss stopping compression, but you're gonna be able to actually hold the bandage on because it stretches and you can pull it tight. And then of course you've got safety pins, tape, etc. if you want to utilize that. And then the last thing we have in here is a buckle style tourniquet. Not my favorite. I think that there's different types of tourniquets out there that are way, way better than this, but in the right situation, or let's just call it the wrong situation, any kind of a tourniquet is going to be good to have in order to stop that blood loss. So you do have a small buckle style tourniquet, not like a cat style, nothing like that. And then if you want to see the case once it's open, the arrangement of the different elastic straps in there, and I'm going to try real hard to get everything back in that thing, but it's a really nice little case, and it's a pretty cool little kit. But let's just talk about this kit now and kind of finalize my thoughts on it. And my thoughts are this: it's got a little bit of survival stuff. It's got what I call boo-boo gear. Okay, boo-boo gear is like band-aids and things like gauze and little things that are going to help you in the event that you have minor cuts, scrapes, burns, insect bites, things like that. If you take a round to the shoulder, you're not going to probably fix that with a kit like this. So it's going to serve a great purpose, and always it's better to have something over nothing, and there's certainly nothing wrong with having redundancy. So you might have another kit that has some of those more serious things in it, so you've got like a higher level trauma kit and then a lower level minor emergency kit, and that's kind of where I think this fits. Could you upgrade this some and add other things? Could you add a chest seal? Could you put a real cat style tourniquet in there? Yes, absolutely. You could do that and make this a whole lot better. I would probably add different things like topical ointments and antibacterials. I would probably get a small container and put things like Tylenol, Advil, things like that in it. There's quite a few things that I would add to this to upgrade it, and maybe we'll do that on a future video. But for right now, that's the LifeGear, the little Pro Series first aid kit. I'm gonna call it the the LifeGear Boo Boo Kit. And I hope they don't get upset with me, but it's awesome. I like it for what it's intended for. It would never match this up to severe trauma, but for everyday stuff, this is gonna be really, really awesome. Anyways, guys, that's gonna wrap up this episode, and I hope that you'll come along with us and let's watch all of the episodes around this LifeGear. It's an amazing company. They've got some great products, and we're gonna check out quite a few of them. Anyways, guys, until that next video, stay safe and God bless.